Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I know. We're going to make a video. So it's on. Hi, everybody. Cheryl Fisher here, and Jim Hansen's right behind the camera. And today we are going to talk about something that is currently been affecting us quite in the Jersey area. So we have our trails are right here. If you want to go here. Thank you. You're welcome. And so what we're going to talk about is kind of a little bit of an effect that we have here on our enviroscape. So I have a little bit of a model here. Of course, a tree is not going to be planted in the middle of the road, but we're going to put it there because I just had some young folks helping us out setting this up a little bit. But this is our enviroscape, and this is a model that does travel. It travels around to events, and of course it comes with an educator and probably an animal from Cedar Run. So if you're interested in any of our traveling programs, our outreach education programs, this is one that will come out to whatever event you might have. And considering things are opening up, please reach out to our education department and Erin Kiefer, and we will certainly get in touch with you. We do education programs, we do birthday parties, we do virtual birthday parties, and we do guided tours. So if you're interested in any of those events or activities, please reach out to our education department, and we're happy to help you guys out. So here we are on this gorgeous day in this gorgeous area here at Cedar Run, and you can see we have this amazing foliage right here. And a lot of people come through and they say, I just can't believe how green it is and how much life there actually is here. And being here in the Pinelands of South Jersey, I know we have a lot of visitors on our Facebook Lives that come from all over. We get thousands of views, so thank you for supporting these things. But here we're also in the Pine Barrens. So what this area was named was Pine Barrens because settlers came here and tried to grow corn. Now, as you can see right below Jim's feet, it's all sandy, so you can't grow much on the sand. But one thing that you can see is that we have a lot of blueberries actually right around me. So all the low growing foliage is usually blueberry, and we have tons of that. And this state is where the blueberry was first cultivated. So they're not very big blueberries that are here, but what we're going to talk about is water and how we can be better with our water sources. So this is a model of a watershed, and what a watershed is depending on where you're at, you have a different watershed, and that's where your fresh water is available to you. So right down here you can kind of see this is, you know, the clean water, the freshwater sink. This is the watershed, and you can see that streams run through. But you can also see that we have homes and farms and animals and shopping centers and roads and cars and lots of beautiful green areas. Maybe this is a golf course, which we also have nearby. But all of these things really have an effect on our water sources. Hello. That's okay. Hello. So we're going to model some of these effects that we here in New Jersey have on our local water source. So what we are going to use are some of these analogies. So we have lots of farms. This is the Garden State, and it says you're a farmer and you spread fertilizers and pesticides on your fields before it rains. Now, not just the farmers do that around here. Lots of homeowners do that. And I did point out that we have a lot of greenery here, but we have a lot of sand, so we don't have a whole lot of grass here. But who needs grass? This greenery is beautiful. But we're going to pretend that we are going to scoop some fertilizer. Ooh. And we're going to put it on the field and maybe on the golf course up here. Okay. So now we spread some fertilizer and pesticides on our fields before it rains. And now what's going to happen? Oh my goodness. So now we're also a logging company, and we're going to cut down a forest to sell lumber, leaving the bare soil, causing erosion to occur. So here's the forest that once was there. And we're going to cut down. We're going to cut down. We're going to put some, oh, those poor trees were cut down. And of course, the homeowner, okay? We spread a lot of fertilizer on our lawn to make it really green. And we did that. Oh no, a windstorm came by. And the golf course I already did. And a construction worker. He bulldozes and leaves a lot of open soil. So we're going to place some more soil in there. Ooh. Look at all this open soil. Oh no. And we plowed the field. Oh no, what are we going to do? We're going to put pesticide on there. And then of course the factories, sludge comes out of the factories. Let me open it. Whew. Some factories, hopefully they're not doing this anymore, but they end up seeping into the water system. And then seasonally, uh-oh. And of course, you walk your dog and you have the animals. Of course, I'm using natural things that I found around here. So animals go to the bathroom as you take them for a walk. So I got these little catkins from the pine trees. Hopefully you're not walking your dog in the middle of the street, but oh, and horses definitely. They use the potty too. Yeah. So we did the chemical factory, and we definitely have a manure pile piling up over there, and we have lots of things for kids to interact with this list of questions. So then, what happens? Of course, in our area, it's raining like crazy. So we're going to make it rain and find out where all this stuff ends up going. Making it rain. Oh no. Where does it all go? Well, sometimes we end up with windstorms and have these trees down. And sometimes we have windstorms and it doesn't knock the trees down. So you can kind of see what ends up in our watershed right here. So we ended up with some animal excrement. We definitely ended up with some of the dirt from the stream that came out, some of the erosion from the logging community, and even, oh, it didn't rain too much on the farm, so the farm didn't contribute too bad, but you can see that there's definitely going to be some runoff if it does rain in that area. Now, one thing that we can do to help deter pollution of our local watershed is to, one, make sure we're planting trees that are native to the area to utilize our water source. So here around us, you can see that we have, this one is sweet pepper. It smells wonderful when it flowers. And you can see we have a lot of pine trees. They're very tall. They give us a lot of shade. You can see we have some mountain laurel, these gorgeous flowering plants. So we have the mountain laurel. And these plants utilize very little water, but they also have a root system that keeps them in the ground. So what happens in our neighborhoods when these trees are falling down and they're blocking roads, they're taking out roads, they are contributing to waste in the waterways, which which kind of changes the patterns of where the water goes. Those are usually non-native trees, especially that pear tree that everybody loves so much. It has beautiful white flowers in the spring, but it has a very short life. Its limbs break off very easily, and they do come down very quickly. Another one that's causing issues is the pin oak. So it doesn't have very widespread roots, and it just kind of goes straight down. While they can get very big, they end up giving up. So one other thing that we could do to protect our waterways is to use different ground cover. We don't have to have grass. While it's beautiful, I think our ground cover is wonderful, and it provides an amazing habitat for lots of different animals. So we have the blueberries here. Well, you can't run through it. So we have the blueberry. It doesn't need a lot of water. Oh, we have lots of moss. Yeah, you can see this. It is very, very green. You don't have to water it. It stays green. You can see there are different types of grasses that will grow in it. And they have little tiny flowers that will provide food for animals that are native to the area. That's okay. But we can do better for our local water sources. So these are things that you can consider. So hello. So just think about planting trees that are native rather than what you might find at the local Home Depot or local garden center. Just make sure it is a New Jersey native, and there's lots of organizations that do have native sales that can help you. So there are lots of conifers. Those are the cone-bearing trees. Pine trees, firs, cedars, and they're often, the cedar trees are pest resistant, which is a wonderful thing as well. But what we've had is a lot of injury to our local waterways recently. We had a lot of really big storms. So we can do better. We're finding that there's a lot of waste going into our systems. Oops. I don't need the poster, but this fell down. So you can see this poster was made to travel with us. So we do have an effect on our groundwater. So even though we have a water treatment plant, you can see that the water gets treated, but chlorine going back into the environment could also be detrimental to organisms that live there. So we have to make sure that when we are taking care of our lawns or taking care of our gardens and taking care of our little piece of home, that we are conscious of what we are doing to the environment. It's not just what we're doing to our own water, but how that does seep into the natural system and how it could affect animals. So here at Cedar Run, we're always thinking about animals, we're always thinking about ecosystems, and we're always thinking about how to do better for our very precious resources here. Thanks for listening, my goodness. But it is very precious, and we need to do better. You know, while those lawns are beautiful and some of those trees are beautiful, we need to make sure that we're doing better to make sure that we pick up after our animals, plant the appropriate trees, and get all this junk out of our water. Now, one activity, you guys know that I'm a teacher, so, or maybe you don't, but not only am I an educator here at Cedar Run. I know you guys look like you want to help. This is something that I do with my middle schoolers, and it's just to really see, we can't control the rain, but we can control what we do to the earth to understand where our water is going to go. So a lot of people think just planting a garden wherever they want is going to be beneficial, but sometimes it's not, and I'm going to show you how. So you just take a plain old piece of paper that is been in the trash, it doesn't matter, and you just crinkle it, and you create a map. Hi. You create a map, and this kind of shows little hilly areas, low areas, and it's representative of many environments. So maybe somebody wants to have a view of the mountain, so they're going to put a house here and make a great big beautiful lawn. And maybe somebody else wants to move in with them and they're going to make a great big beautiful lawn. But then somebody wants to put in a pool, and they got to drain it every now and then, so where does all that chlorine go? So they're going to put in a pool. Oh, sorry guys, it's starting to look like an animal to me. And then maybe it was a dry summer and you just want to kind of go along the ridges here so we can see what would happen if it does rain. So where is all this soil gonna go? Just kind of draw along the ridges. It doesn't have to be pretty, but we want to find out where the water is gonna go. Maybe this person wants a house. I'm gonna put a house here, and then this is a little ridge. And of course they can draw on here and put shopping centers, maybe roads, because of course cars have an effect on our waterways, because if they're leaking, they are going to contribute to pollution in our water. So let's make it rain on our little topographic map here. I dumped it out. Of course I did. Of course I did. But I'm going to go right back here. So take a look at that, Jim.
Have our little ridge tops here. Make them up to be anything you want. Doesn't have to be these colors either. Whatever colors you want your little area to be. There's an old one we had did. Here's a newer one. Getting ready. Have our houses with our pool. It looks like a cat face. Gotta have your cat house and pool.
Oh, my cat house and pool.
Very nice.
So we're gonna make it rain. And sometimes this takes a few minutes, and I leave it in the front of the classroom because of course paper absorbs water. But you can see where the water is going to go. And that way they get an idea of the effects of some of these man-made structures and natural structures on how they affect the water flow and where things go. So I would have expected a lot more to go in here, but this is just runoff from this hill. And this one is definitely running off towards the farm. The pool seems to be running off towards the house though.
Flooding in your basement.
It's flooding the basement. You gotta watch out for those pools. But you can kind of see, you can leave these to dry. Honestly, you can color them in like crazy. Add much more, make sure you're using water soluble markers. Like I said, you can add roads and really just show your students how adding something to a natural environment can really impact something as simple as just a local waterway. So fertilizing that lawn, is it really staying on your lawn? Already I could see that this house wants to fertilize its lawn, but most of that fertilizer is leaving the lawn. So it's really important to understand what we're doing to our waterways. So a lot of people are in my neighborhood were saying, you know, we got a lot of flooding. Well, it's not natural what we've done to our neighborhoods. And with a lot of these trees coming down and bits of non-native things coming down, even native things of course come down, just be a good neighbor and try to help clean up the neighborhood best you can. And just realize that we are all sharing the same resource. Water is precious, and by planting things that are native, you use less water. It's cheaper for you. I don't water my lawn, and I have one. Shade is wonderful, so planting trees so you don't have to water your grass so much is also beneficial. But hi, have you guys been here before?
No, never been here.
Okay, animals are that way, or the trail is that way.
What do you want to do, Lane? Trail?
And you can do both at the same time if you want.
Oh, let's see the animals.
Yeah, see the animals first, and then it takes you right back here to the nature center.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. So as you see here at Cedar Run, we are open, and people can visit the trails. Still, our nature center is closed, but there's a gift shop and just a few reptiles in there. Not just a few, our very important reptile educators are in there. And we have a playroom, but we're still staying out of that space. So feel free to come down. Educators are here to assist you on the trails. And we're happy to answer any questions that you have. If you're visiting and you're unsure of where the trails take you, right now we're right in front of the White Trail. It really is just a loop that'll bring you right back here to the parking lot or the nature center. But we do have 3 miles of trails here that we can assist you with if you wanted to take that on. But if you guys have any questions about anything that we do here at Cedar Run, just feel free to ask. Jim and I are here every Saturday, and of course Aaron and Rachel are here throughout the week. Our animal hospital is open 24 hours a day, and we are still here doing the good work to get those animals back out into the wild. Over 500 animals are in our care right now, so feel free to donate if you want. And reach out to us if you want any traveling education programs to come to you. I'm sure those are going to fill up once we get the okay to go. And just give us a call at 856-983-3329, extension 101 for our education department. Or you can just go to cedarrun.org and you can reach out to Aaron Kiefer, and we'll book any kind of a program for you related to conservation or animal rehabilitation or even watersheds. So thank you for visiting us today, and thank you to Jim, and hopefully I'll see you guys again. Thanks for joining us again.